morning, y'all. Morning for me. Don't know when you're going to be watching this, but it's morning for me. We are in my dining room today. I am so excited to show you some of the updates that we've done in here. I've added some lighting to my bookcases. I have painted some furniture. We are going to decorate together like we always do. And here comes Mr. Finn. You want to say hello? Since everybody was asking about you. Finn is feeling a little bit better. He did have his little nasal surgery. They found nothing. I know. Purr. But he does sound better. The flushing out the nasal passages seem to help him. They did take a culture, and we're waiting on the culture to see if it's some antibiotic that we haven't tried that's going to help him in the long run. But other than that, he's feeling a little bit better, so you shouldn't hear him through this whole video sneezing and hacking and coughing. Thank you very much for those that asked about him. My fur babies are a very important part of my life. My kids are all grown, lives of their own. I have 3 dogs, and I have technically 3 cats. One of them is my son's cat that my son lives with us, for those that don't know. And he's looking to purchase a house this year, so we're going to be down 1 kitty cat once he leaves. So we have Jasper and we have Finn, who is shaking the tripod. Finn, go on. Before we get started, I'm going to show you the window treatment in the kitchen and how I changed the vignette above the fridge. Okay, for those that voted for the gold, that's what I went with. And I added that little striped trim at the bottom, and I moved all the tassels to the middle. And I like it. It's a very clean look for my window for this season. It always changes. Okay, I'm gonna carefully, so I don't go too fast. Okay, and above the fridge, I put my antique radio up there behind the oil lamp and added some green. Okay, finally getting to the dining room. I'm going to explain. First thing that I did was paint the base of my table. I'm going to show you a before photo of the base. Back when everybody was painting everything white, I jumped on that bandwagon and I painted the base of my now considered antique table white. I've lived with it for quite a few years. I just looked at it and I thought, you know what? I didn't want to strip it down because that's a lot of work to put and a lot of chemicals. And at this point, physically, I don't think I'm in the position to be doing that. So what I did is I took some brown chalk paint and I painted it and then I waxed it afterwards. So I'm gonna show you what I did, and I didn't film it. It was during my vacation. So I just showed you the before and I'll show you the after, just so we have a base of where we're starting. So this is what the dining room table looks like now with the white chairs. I'm still not sure if I'm going to paint the chairs, maybe a color. Let me know down in the comments what you think I should do. Should I leave them white? Should I paint them a color? I don't want to paint them the dark brown like the base of the table. I would prefer something maybe a little fun, something a little bit different. So just let me know what you think I should do. Now we're gonna get started. I'm gonna show you how I put together the tablescape or the centerpiece. Oh, one other thing that I did change was the chandelier. This was originally in my kitchen, and when I swapped it out for the cream one, it sat in my studio for a while, and then the other one that was up here was a little more modern, and I gave that to my son, my youngest son, who just purchased a house, and we put this one back up in its place. So if it looks a little bit different, it is. All right, y'all, let's get started with the tablescape. Okay, I started with the runner. This is a cream gingham one that I thrifted. I have a cutting board that I'm going to use as my base. You could use a wood tray. I like that it brings another element to the table. A wicker would be beautiful. Sky's the limit as far as your bases go. First thing I'm going to put on there to hide that hole is some ironstone plates. Now, these are, again, thrifted vintage, stack of 3. And then I'm going to add my first vase, Hobby Lobby vase, just a white vase. What I've done is I've added some florals. These are from the Dollar General. And they have some purple in them, because you're going to see a theme here of the purple. The next vase, another Hobby Lobby vase. Now, this one I'm going to put towards the middle. This has some blue thistle. These come from Walmart. Walmart is a hit or miss with florals, but sometimes you can find some really cool ones. And I really love the thistle. And I'm going to place another third little vase. Hobby Lobby again. And I'm just going to adjust these in. Now, I have a stack of 3 antique books with some twine. And I'm going to place those kind of there. Yep. One. I have a set of 2 gold candles from Hobby Lobby with an LED pillar or taper lights. And those are going to go on the end here. And I'm still loving the candlelight. During the night, it comes on. These are set, you have a timer, they come on. So I have the last little bit is, this came from a garland from Hobby Lobby. I love it. I like, it's kind of like the mossy kind of look. And I'm just going to tuck those in at different levels with my furry supervisor here telling me what I can and cannot do. And that is my centerpiece. Simple, but really, really pretty for that in between. I live in deep Georgia. It never gets cold here. But at the end of Christmas, I just want to pack up all the green. Cedar, pine, and move on. But I'm not ready for spring flowers yet. You could change the vases, you could change the florals. Sky's the limit. You notice I used the rule of 3s, except for the candles. That's the only time I broke the rule of 3s. Okay, these are the bookshelves from Sedita. Still loving them, but the only thing I want to do is I want to add some LED lights to them. So what I've got a extension cord that's a split extension cord, so it'll go to each bookcase. I have the LED lights that I like, and a timer, because I'm all about the timer. Comes on, comes off, don't have to mess with it. So all I need to do, I'm gonna have to drill a small little hole in each one to thread the lights through. All right, that's the hole that was drilled. This is where the wiring comes out. I took museum wax and I tacked the wiring up so you do not see it. And then the LED strip lights have a self-adhesive on the back that you just peel and stick. And then I went all the way around to the top, and that's where I'm going to put that little piece of molding. As you can see, lighting makes such a huge difference when you're talking about bookcases, hutches, anywhere really. Lighting is a key element in your design, in your home. Lighting makes such a difference. You can see here I added that little piece of molding at top so you don't see the strip light, you just see the lighting behind it. As far as decorating my bookcases, I have not changed these since I think it was our Decorate With Me for Christmas. I pretty much have left all the decorations exactly the same. All I did was take away Christmas. So I am just going to show you up close in case you want to maybe check out that video to see how these were decorated. And then we're going to move on to the hutch. Okay, up here in the tippy top, I have those Crocs that I love to collect with all the antiques and stuff. I did add a puck light to the top that's on a timer that adds even more to the lighting. And then the first shelf, the second shelf, and then the third, all I did was change up. I added that little silver container and a little magnifying glass here, and the doily / embroidered napkin that peeks out of this little antique drawer set. But that's really all I've done. I don't think we need to go back over it, me taking it down. I told you when I did it for Christmas that I was probably going to leave it. And I just love it, and I think it adds so much character to my dining room. We're going to move over the fishies. Nothing new in the fish tank. And then here's the second one. Added a second puck light here to the top. Now I did change the arrangement of this just slightly. I cleaned it up, and pretty much it's just kind of the same. This little suitcase box came from Temu. And then the Bibles and the hymnals. And that's really it. So, and if I stand way far back, you can see the bookcases. Now the fish tank stand. This is a wallpaper that I tried. It was not. It was supposed to look more like tin. It looks just like paper. And that's Finn trying to figure out how to get back there. That's going to be changing up. I'm just not sure what I want to do. It's an awful lot of white on this wall compared to, let's say, the rest of my home, which is predominantly more wood and warm tones and not as much white. So I'm not sure. If you have any suggestions, please let me know down in the comments. I would really appreciate it. I'm kind of stumped as far as what to do with it. We have the custom drapes from Unicurt. Still loving those. Not changed anything here in the middle wall. Same old, same old. Love that radio. Love the history behind it more than anything. All right, y'all, we're going to move over to my hutch. Okay, this is the hutch for those that are new here. It was a honey oak, and I taught you in a video how to dark chalk paint wash it to make it look more of like a dark walnut or an antique. And pan you down. And that's my front door over there. So it would be kind of where your entryway is, but because the fish tank sits where a hutch would normally sit, this is where I've placed this piece of furniture. Inside is my ironstone whiteware collection. I'll open up the doors and show you. So you can see I have a lot of ironstone, a lot of little trinkets in this. some doilies that were, you know, my grandmother made. The wallpaper is a peel and stick from Amazon. It's more like a William Morris kind of take. And then we have the second shelf. And I just leave this exactly the way it is. I don't change it up. I don't do anything different. Again, stays the same. Here on the, what I classified like an open shelf, I have a mirror that I placed in the back. It reflects any kind of light. There's 2 LED strip lights up here underneath. Again, on a timer. All this comes on, comes off. I have note scale base, and on it I placed a doily, one of those, it came from Hobby Lobby. It's a bird cage, that's all it says. I'm gonna place that on where the weights would normally be. And then I have a thrifted bowl that I painted white, and I have some greenery from Dollar General. And I'm gonna place that where the bowl for the weights would normally be. That's our first piece. Now, in front of it, I'm gonna place a rolling pin and some silver cups. Here you have, it's an old rolling pin that I found at the antique mall with a stand, and then some silver baby cups here. And of course, Finn's gonna get into the decorating with Mom. Next, we're gonna add a crock and some greenery. As you can see, here's the crock. That garland that I took pieces of it onto the dining room table is this garland. And again, I cut it up and I use it in very places all throughout the dining room, so there's cohesion in it. Next, I'm gonna add some antique mixing bowls and a wooden scoop. And as you can see, here it is. Now, because this is in a dining room, I can get away with adding kitchen-y items in it. But I think it just adds so much to this little area, and I think it's so cute. And then I took everything down off the top of the hutch that I had over Christmas. Again, paring down just a little bit, not a whole lot. And over here, I took all the pictures down, and I'm trying to decide whether I am probably just going to rehang my large piece of art here, because when you see us do the dining or the living room, you're going to understand it's all about balance. And this is what my dining room looks like, all said and done. And for those that are new here, I have an open concept ranch house, which means everything is open. Like you see my kitchen, and I'll give you a sneak peek of the living room, family room that I'm working on. Thank you so much for joining me today and decorating my cottage vintage dining room. Don't forget to put in the comments, chairs, should I paint them? What color? Suggestions for the fish tank stand. I'm really stumped. I just don't know what to do. And let me know, if you're new and you've subscribed, let me know down in the comments. Say hello, tell me where you're from. Very active down in those comments. I love to get to know y'all. And I will see you next Friday. That's our new posting time for those that have missed it, at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much. Please consider giving this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and consider becoming part of my YouTube family by hitting that subscribe button. See y'all.